The message that I have for this reading is that they never expected you to get this far after they left you in the dirt, cold, forgotten, and irrelevant. But you didn't break. You grew teeth. You grew wings. And now the world sees you. The world loves you in ways that this person never could, or maybe never let themselves, because loving you meant facing everything in them they've spent a lifetime avoiding. And they'd rather burn it all down before doing that. Don't ever expect them to congratulate you or wish you well, unless, of course, you come back crawling, even after everything they did. So they'll continue to watch, not because they love you, but because you proved them wrong. What do we have at the foundation of the reading? Ace of Pentacles, Earth energy at the foundation of the reading. So a lot of you are in this season where your blessings are really starting to flood through, but it's gotten to the point where it's undeniable. I feel that there's a lot of people that are beginning to witness this without you even trying. I feel that a lot of you are just moving the way Source has been telling you to move, and it's got people watching. It's got people lurking from the shadows, just like I highlighted in the opening message. Now, I feel that the people that could be lurking are family members, friends, exes, take it as it fits, but the people that essentially ruled you out in some capacity. And, you know, it's interesting because your story, the way it's unfolding now, it's biblical. It's the type of story that gets passed down through the ages. It's the type of story that people tell other people to learn lessons from. And I feel that you're actually beginning to notice this. Your story's timeless. And I feel that there was a point in your life when you were going through this struggle, when you felt misunderstood, you felt unseen, you felt insignificant. And in the back of your mind, you always had this inkling or kind of hope, almost like a fantasy, even though it turned out not to be a fantasy. But let's just say, for the sake of example here, you had this fantasy in your mind of what it would be like if you could have a chance, if the universe just gave you one chance. And now here you are, preparing to enter into this new timeline where exactly what you hoped and wished for is being placed in the palm of your hands. And it's because you deserve it. It's because you put in all the hard work to actually get here. You didn't take the shortcuts. No matter how many times you were ruled out, no matter how many times you may have been metaphorically face down in the dirt, going through the struggle, you never gave up and you never sold yourself out. You stayed true to something that I don't even think that you could fully define at that point in time. You just knew that there was something more out there, that there was something calling you. I call that a divine tether. It's when we go so deep into the darkness of our own life, our mission, what we were sent here to do, that we can have a tendency to forget where we came from, that there's a divine presence around us. But there was always this hint of light inside of you, even in the darkest of rooms, even in those darkest moments, those lowest points. There was something that always tugged on your spirit. There was something that you held on to. And because of this, you are in a season now where the blessings are going to start coming through. And even though you could care less at this point, it's something that's going to be loud. It's going to be broadcasted depending on how that shows up in your everyday waking life. See, this is all a part of it. The divine source, God, has to use us as a kind of instrument of awakening. People are very misguided in this world that we live in. People are very lost. And you're one of these people that came here to show individuals that they can do it, that they don't have to sell themselves out. Sure, it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of lonely nights, lonely years, for some decades. But whenever you finally reach the other side of this battle, it almost feels like it was a flash in a pan. And it's in that moment that Spirit gifts you with so much more than you could have possibly even imagined. It's like Spirit places a metaphorical book right there in your hands and says, this is your story. And it's absolutely incredible. Look what you've done. Look what you've overcome. And now we're going to make a really great example out of you, because you hold this kind of consciousness. It's a kind of Christ consciousness. You know, I always say this, that Christ is an example by which we could all live our lives, or at least try and get close to it. It's not a singular man. It's something that exists in all of us. It's something that we can all access. And the return of Christ is not just one man descending from the heavens. It's something that awakens from within us. And it's this moment for all of you that is your return to Christ, your return to Christ consciousness. You don't need to be religious to understand what I'm speaking here, because it's a vibration, it's a frequency, it's a frame of mind, it's a frame of reference, it's a purposeful way of doing things. And this is what all of us are being guided to return to right now. And you, my friends, are the perfect example of just that. What do we have at the sacral, please, Spirit? 9 of Swords, Gemini energy at the sacral. There's a lot of individuals here that just never thought they would ever see you on this timeline that you're stepping into now. Some of these people, I feel, if they were family members, didn't think that you would actually be able to get by without them. And it's almost like they hate you for actually doing it. Rather than congratulate you, rather than praise you or say, job well done, they prefer to almost ignore you, almost like you never even existed. I feel that your transformation, your level up, is a reality that they simply cannot accept. See, these people, they don't miss you per se. They miss the power they had over you when you thought you needed them for something. But there's also a very hard lesson that a lot of you are beginning to learn right now, that there's a fine line between love and ownership. You know, when people go through these sorts of situations similar to yours, you have to completely relearn what love is. You have to reparent yourself in a lot of different ways as well. It's like you have to completely reprogram your mind to accept truths you never thought you would ever have to accept. To accept the fact that the reality that you once lived in was an illusion. It was a lie. It was all based on a kind of programming that was placed into you before you even had a say-so in the matter. It's like you were meant to break, and instead you bloomed into this amazing person, this warrior of the light, and this is simply destroying these people. Because you have to understand that their belief system was stabilized within you never waking up to the truth. It's like what they called love, you're beginning to see, was a kind of leash. It was a kind of shackle. They'll never apologize. They'll just keep lurking. They'll keep haunting, right? That's what they do. It's all they know how to do. And the thing is, that's always been there. But because you've stepped into this newfound sense of power, you're just beginning to interface with your reality differently. And you're seeing things that you didn't notice before, right? It's like these are the same kinds of people that don't say sorry. They're the kinds of people who say, remember me? And I'm sure a bunch of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Did you forget about me? Oh, long time no talk. Right? It's like they try to use some sort of familiarity to get back in your energy, but they completely evade the elephant in the room. They never expected your story to actually keep developing without them. Death card, 4 swords, Judgment, King of Swords. So here's the transformation, the 4 swords. Yeah, there was this moment, I feel, with this 4 swords, Death card and Judgment, where they started to see hints of you waking up. I just heard something about an echo of a timeline, right? It's like them getting some sort of downloads or intuitive hits that something was about to erupt, which is just another way of speaking about your awakening. Yeah, it's like you're this volcano that has just been building up pressure, and then it just finally exploded. The explosion is the transformation, is the judgment. I feel that there was a sort of bridging that took place. And this may have been when you started to really notice that some things were up, right? See, when you look back after you've gone through the transformation, just another way of speaking about the ascension or the awakening, you start to see some of the finer details. You're like, God, they were doing this stuff when I was going through that awakening process and I didn't even realize it. So you may be going through this now where you're putting together a lot of the pieces. And this is something I've mentioned before, that as you go on down your path, Spirit will give you more and more pieces to that puzzle, right? Because the depth and the detail to everything that took place in and around your transformation awakening, it's far too overwhelming to have given to you all in one serving. You've got to get it in pieces, because if you got it all at once, right, it would probably stop you dead in your tracks, okay? It would be so shocking to think that these people went to these lengths to do what they did. But as you make your way down your path, you're more and more acclimated to these ideas, right? It's like Spirit is slowly prepping you for the mass exposure. And this, I feel, is what a lot of you are going through right now. And this Nine of Swords at the sacral is representing these individuals. It's like the more truth that comes to you, the more it's shown to them in the dream space. And see, they have this demon here. It's almost like the possession, right? I just heard has come home. The haunting that they sent to you has come home to do what it does best. Haunt. But not you, them. They're feeling the weight of everything they've done to you. It's starting to get dished out to them. It's hitting them in the dream space first, because that's where they're most vulnerable. There's a psychological aspect to it. See, in the dream space, we often encounter things that have a deep subconscious impact on us without even really knowing it. And this is exactly what Spirit is doing right now. It's like Spirit is working with all of these entities that they sent you, right? See, because these entities have to feed off of something. And so them having called on these entities, they've got to go somewhere. And because you have stepped into this empowered new version of yourself, they simply deflect off of you. See, they attach themselves to fear. That's why things like spell work, energy manipulation, you don't ever really need to worry about this sort of stuff. I'm getting some ringing in my ears right now, so just pay attention to what I'm going to say here, because it's very important. It's very simple, but it's important. This kind of energy work cannot attach itself to you unless you are in an energy of fear, okay? So these kinds of people that you may be dealing with, they're going to create events in and around your life to get you in fear. So when they send the energy manipulation towards you, it sticks to you. But if you keep your mind strong, if you strengthen your connection with Source and Spirit, the divine, whoever you see to for your own personal higher power, you have nothing to worry about. In fact, when these energies are sent towards you, they're used to your benefit, because every time they deflect off of you, you become stronger for it. And it also leaves you with a sense of knowing. You have a kind of experience now. You're becoming a master of spiritual warfare without even knowing it. And this is Spirit working behind the scenes in your favor. What do we have at the solar plexus, please, Spirit? Two of Wands, Aries energy at the solar plexus. Okay, so here you are, right? And then here they are in the background, right? They're dressed up in that trickster costume there. Now, the Two of Wands at that solar plexus position is really speaking about how you've regained control over your life and any of the situations that may have been surrounding you and these people. So simply put, you've transformed and you've managed to rise above all of these attacks. It's one of these situations as well where they're really being faced with the fact that the person that they had been attacking and coming against this entire time was a kind of divine soldier. You were sent here for a very specific reason. And this is a very harsh realization that these people are having right now, because they've actually never felt more close to God than they do now. But it's not for the reasons that you would think. They feel close to God right now because of what they were doing to you. It's like the divine moved you out of the way and stepped in for you. See, what a lot of you don't even realize is that you're this beautiful life lesson just waiting to happen. A lot of you have been made to think that your story is insignificant. It's not really that special, or there's nothing that great about you. You're just another person living in the world. But all I can tell you is if those things have crossed your mind before, then it's actually the opposite that is the truth. See, the most significant people in the world, the most important people, the most enlightened people are the ones who have felt the lowest of lows. You have to. It's all a part of the journey. You have to feel that low to understand the high. You have to lose yourself in the darkness to find yourself in the light. You have to know what it's like to be face down in the dirt so you can rise above and fly. And that's what sets you apart. And for those of you that are still going through these struggles right now, all I can tell you is when I come across people like you, I think about all the amazing things you're being prepared for without you even knowing it. So you don't pay attention to the people who are already sitting at the top. Pay attention to the people who are on the very bottom, good people who are on the bottom, the people where you kind of say to yourself, or, you know, it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense that they're there. Those are the people that you need to watch for, because those are the people that are going to rise to the top, but in a whole different way. They're going to rise to the top the right way, and they're going to stay there. See, we live in a world where people will completely sell themselves out to be able to just sit up there for a moment, but then they'll lose it all in the blink of an eye. Everybody wants that quick high, right? But not you. You're a group of individuals that see the world differently. You're not interested in that quick high. You're not interested in being on top of anything, but that's why you'll be placed there, however that makes sense in your reality and your everyday waking life, because of the example that you set for others. What do we have at the heart? Queen of Swords, air energy at the heart. You know, one of the hardest parts of this path that you're on, and this is also something I say quite often, is the realization of everything you've gone through. The more you make your way down this path and the more truth that is illuminated to you, you can find yourself in moments where it just feels unbelievable. It feels like you're in a different world. It feels like you have woken up from a time of, let's say, great slumber. It's almost as if your past life where all these events took place is a representation of you on another timeline, because it really is. You know, timelines are just something we can access in any given moment based on the decisions we make in the here and now. But this sort of timeline jump here, this is a big one, okay? Now, it's as if you have jumped multiple timelines and now you are living out of the consciousness awareness of a more higher vibrational, aligned version of you. That's what this is, and that's what it means to timeline jump. But you're still left with the memories of everything that you have left behind or had to move on from. You know, there could be situations here where it's not even universally possible to have any sort of communication with the people on these other timelines. You may find that there's a kind of static or there's a kind of interference with trying to communicate with those people because they exist on a lower vibrational timeline. So you may find that circumstance gets in the way. Maybe there's obstacles that just present themselves. I'm getting a lot of ringing in my ears right now. Every time you even entertain the idea of what it would be like to speak with these people after everything you have gone through to get to where you are and everything that has unfolded till this very moment. And that's why they lurk from the shadows, right? You can feel their eyes on you always, and that's never going to go away. They're going to always watch you, okay? Because you are a mirror of everything inside of them that they will never face. You are the embodiment of this Christ consciousness in the reality that you shared with them. The whole Christ consciousness subject matter is something that many of you can experience in your own way. For example, a lot of your lives and the events that surround your life can be found almost word for word, metaphorically speaking, in Scripture. It's like there's not just one Christ. There's many people who hold that Christ consciousness. There's not just one devil. There's many devils, right? It's like Scripture is a kind of handbook. You know, there's many useful things in there. You know, there's a lot of things in there, too, that are very watered down. It's definitely something that's been handed down through the ages and been altered many, many times. But without digressing too much here, what I'm really trying to get at is that it's like you had an agreement to come down here, to be sent into the karmic cycle with the people that you incarnated with into this life, because your life was always going to be the path to awakening for these people. Whether they understood that or not, or whether they followed your lead, it couldn't be denied. So as shocking as it is for you to have to sit with the truth of everything you've gone through, just think for a moment what these people must be feeling, right? That they're the villain in your story, that the universe wrote them into the story of your lives that you shared with them as the villain. That's a hard reality to accept. But they have the power to turn that around if they want, right? There's always that opportunity. Villains can come to the other side if they want. It takes a lot of work, but it can be done. And you were sent here on this mission by the divine with a small chance of hope that maybe that would happen. But I'm also hearing that when you sat down and accepted this mission, the divine said to you, you know, this is like a 1 in a million shot that this is going to work, right? But you volunteered to do it anyway. You were basically just sent here to help raise the collective vibration, help awaken people, even just one person, right? Even if it's not one of these individuals that you incarnated into this lifetime with, maybe in passing, you just connect with somebody and you opened up their mind to a new way of thinking and a possibility. One person is a huge accomplishment. I feel that you're all beginning to understand the magnitude of what it is you're all doing here together. You are all incremental pieces of this puzzle. There's no one person that's doing this. You're all doing it together. You're all needed. You're all a link in the chain. It's not about one person coming to save everybody. It's about everybody waking up to the truth and aligning with the consciousness of saving yourself and those around you. What do we have at the throat, please, Spirit? Lovers, Gemini energy at the throat. Perfect card to get after everything I just said, because even the illustration really highlights this, right? See, the lovers in a reading like this, it has nothing to do with lovers, romantic sort of situations. In this case, we're seeing spirit here, your higher self, your lower self. We're seeing you doing your part with the understanding that you are an incremental piece, that you are a necessary component in this spiritual war. I just heard great recalibration. We have the death card right there from this deck. Tower, 8 of Wands. So there's the transformation again. We've seen 2 death cards. This whole reading is quite clear because it's speaking about you accepting your mission, you turning your back on these individuals that have tried to keep you mainlined to this lie. This is you awakening inside this kind of hell that they wanted you to exist in. This is you waking up to the truth that that touch of light that you had inside of you this entire time was where your truth was emanating from. It's that truth that's been calling you this entire time, that divine tether. This is one of these situations where I feel a lot of you are beginning to experience all the things that maybe you felt as a child. You felt different. You didn't feel like you were apart or connected to the people around you. You almost felt alien. And this is what it's like to be on this path. You were hand-selected for this because you were the right ones for the job. You accepted this mission because you've been here before. You're experienced. What do we have at the third eye? 6 of Wands, Leo energy at the third eye. I'm hearing here that you were a lot of people's lessons. I feel that there was many years back to back that you came in contact with different people, friends, even family members, romantic partners, and the same kinds of situations would always unfold. And in the beginning, it left you feeling like you were doing something wrong, but that wasn't it at all. You were strategically placed in these people's lives to trigger some sort of awakening within them or to extract something out of them, right? It's like you extracted a kind of behavior out of them that they weaponized against you. And the resolution to that is watching, having to witness this victory in your life. You know, I'm also picking up something here with the lovers and the 6 of Wands regarding an ex that I feel quite a lot of you dealt with. Could have been several years ago, but timing doesn't really matter. But it's like this person really did a number on you. I feel that you showed this person a lot of love. You really tried to care for this person, only to find out that this person was an opportunist. As soon as this person was given an opportunity or an offer that on paper or on the surface seemingly looked better than you, they took it. And what they failed to realize is that offer was straight from hell. They were tested. God used you as a vessel to expose this person for who they really were. And for a lot of you, years have gone by. This person's life has completely fallen apart. Maybe the person they left you for is no longer in their life anymore. Maybe that person did to them what they did to you. I feel this person took a lot from you, far more than just material possessions and money. I feel that they really went for the jugular with you. This person really wanted to end you because they wanted to erase any trace of their cruelty. I feel that this person has stalked and harassed you for several years now. This is the same kind of person who will talk like they're some big shot, right? Talk like they're desirable, that they have all these people that bother them and stalk and harass them. But the truth is, this person is everything they say other people are, right? One of these kinds of individuals, just very ill and very lost is really what it comes down to. And all your level up has done is make this truth deafening to them. I feel that this person is really on their last leg, and watching you step into this new season of your life where these blessings are being rained down upon you is really the icing on the cake. Because not only are they being faced with just how wicked and cruel they've been to you and probably many other people, but they're also bearing witness to quite possibly one of, or if not the greatest things that they ever lost. You are the greatest thing that they never had the opportunity of understanding and experiencing. Oh, wow. 10 of Wands, 3 of Wands. So Sag energy. It's like, here's this person, right? Just left with the weight, the baggage of their past. It's all laid out in front of them now. They can't ignore it anymore. And then here you are, 3 of Wands. Some of you could be in a leadership position. There's just a lot of expansion in your life. I'm also hearing something about, yeah, look at that, 9 of Pentacles, strength. I'm also hearing something about things that you spoke to this person about. Now, this can also be family too, is what I'm hearing. It's like you were talking about the things you were going to do when these people were in your life. And in their mind, they just thought to themselves, oh, yeah, right, whatever, sure. But now you're actually doing these things. And the only thing really different is that they're not in your life anymore. So what does that say, right? What do we have at the crown, please? Empress, Libra, Taurus, Venusian energy at the crown in reverse. So when this card came out, I heard fall from grace. Okay, now I feel that Spirit built this person all the way up to the tippy top, right? And all the while, you were building yourself up. You were self-empowering. Spirit was working on you, preparing you. And now, this is a perfect example of what it means for the scales to tip, right? Or the wheel of fortune to turn in your favor. What was once up, right, comes down, and what was down now comes up. But you stay there because you did it right. So it's like everything they've built, you know, this person could have sold you out for money, fame, marriage, house, cars, you know, whatever makes most sense with your story. All the bells and whistles, right? All the things that people sell their soul for. I mean, this is really what this is. This is somebody who sold their soul. But all of it, and I mean all of it, every single last thing is all but gone now. There's nothing to show for anything that they've supposedly gained without you in their life. And everything they've lost energetically is being redirected toward you. See, this is their lesson. See, it's not about you so much having this great success and happiness in your life. Remember, you're a vessel for the divine. You're here to teach lessons and to also learn lessons yourself. It's more about you being put in a position to where people can see a clear difference between the way they were moving and the way you are now moving. They need to be shown an example of the right way of doing things, taking your time, working with Spirit, not selling yourself and other people out just to gain something in what seems like a blink of an eye, right? Because it doesn't last, it doesn't stay. People think that they can conquer universal law and that there's something so special about them that they'll be exempt from the karmic consequences of their actions. And see, Spirit does that on purpose, right? Builds up their ego nice and big. So they think that they are the center of the universe and that they'll never receive any consequences for their actions. But these are the people that fall the hardest. These are the people that Spirit will allow to sit on the top there for a little while. So then when they least expect it, and when they are certainly not prepared for it, that rug is pulled out from underneath them. And they are driven back into the stone ages of their life, which is just a metaphorical way of speaking about where they came from. They have to start all over again while you have spent years building slowly, doing it right. It's like they may get it overnight, but when you get there, they lose it all. And right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Star card. Okay, so perfect. Because this is, well, the Star is all about you being in the spotlight of your life, okay, whatever that means for you and the path that you've been assigned to. It's basically just a way of saying you've arrived because you did it the right way. What do we have at the foundation, please, Spirit? 4 of Swords, Simius, Libra energy at the foundation underneath this Ace of Pentacles. So this 4 of Swords is following what I said here because this is them having to start over again, okay? It's like as soon as the pentacle comes out of the heavens, so to speak, for you, right? This is just representing your blessings, this new beginning for you. Everything is just going your way now. They go all the way back to the beginning, okay? It seemed like you were in last place, right? They've been running first in the race this entire time. And then all of a sudden, something just happens. In my mind's eye, I'm seeing, this is really interesting, I'm seeing timelines being folded. It's like God folds a timeline, and all of a sudden you're in first and they're in last. I just heard it is done. See, the timeline where you were having to deal with all of this darkness, this struggle in your life, is going to feel more like a fading dream than reality. What do we have at the sacral, please, Spirit? Wheel of Fortune, Sag energy at the sacral. Okay, so we spoke about the Wheel of Fortune back here. Now, this Wheel of Fortune is a little different than the typical Wheel of Fortune. It's like Wheel of Fortune in its shadow, okay, and it's right underneath this 9 of Swords. So this is them, right? This is what they're going through right now. And then this Wheel of Fortune here is an energy of bad luck. And there's some sort of negative external force that is influencing this energy in their life. So this is them now on the bottom of the wheel, right? They're starting to see hints of this coming through. I'm hearing something about numbers going down, people being less interested. I'm also seeing something in my mind's eye regarding some of these people having issues with addictions now as well. And in a lot of cases where that resonates with you, these people were holding up their addictions with this fake success, right? That they attained. It's like Spirit wanted them to feel like they were invincible. Spirit wanted to see how they would get down, the way they would treat people. This is the kind of person who steps on people's skulls to get to the top, and they'll numb themselves the entire way up. See, these people must have a hard fall to learn their lesson. It's the only way to possibly recover them. And I'm hearing that in a lot of cases, it still doesn't work, right? It's like this mission, it's not always effective. It's not a sure thing. All we have to do is look at the world around us. Some people just don't get it. But all you can do is your best and hope that maybe eventually something you say or something you do will repeat on them like an echo on some other timeline in another life cycle. There is a greater design that we'll never be able to understand. And the most important thing is that we're always just following where Spirit is leading us to go, having faith that it's all for a greater plan, and just staying focused on our own path and doing the best we can. The stress that we have at this sacral position here with this 9 of Swords and this Wheel of Fortune is very intense. This is the kind of energy where these people are looking out their window. That's how paranoid they are. There's a lot of fear. These people are feeling very isolated by the universe, by the world, by themselves, right? Yeah, right on the bottom of the deck, the moon. So I was talking about Eight of Swords and Ace of Cups. Okay. So yeah, there's somebody here with some pretty heavy addictions, okay? The moon can certainly speak about that. And the Eight of Swords here, it's like they've become their own worst enemy. The Ace of Cups, it's like they're trying to, they just can't, they can't deal with even a small portion of what they did to you. And that's what spirit, right? Or these entities, rather, have been ordered to give back to them. But so far, it's only a portion, and they can't handle it. Yeah, I just heard that they didn't care one bit about what they did to you. The world. In some cases, these people wanted you to be a story of tragedy in their playbook, right? Oh yeah, they were so obsessed over me, you know, when I left them, that they did this to themselves. Something like this. Somebody wanted to use the situation between you and them as a way to garner sympathy from other individuals. A story that was a lie, a story that was made up. And remember, they wanted to erase you from the timeline entirely, so there was no evidence of the truth. See, now the fear, it's just all consuming because they don't know what you're going to do, what you're going to say. Anything could happen. This World card here underneath this Two of Wands is really speaking about this as well, right? Because it's like, here you are, you're stepping into this new timeline, you have the world in the palm of your hand, and it's like, here they are back there like, oh no, I didn't think they would actually make it here. I wonder what they're going to say or do now. And then the World card here from this deck, this is an energy that's, see, they left something incomplete here. They left this situation with you without, it's like lack of closure, right? They didn't leave you with any closure. Not that you need it now, but in that moment, it certainly would have been useful because of how chaotic this whole situation was with them. You weren't left with any explanation. It's like from one day to the next, this person unleashes the full force of hell into your life. And then you're left having to pick up the pieces. You know, in a lot of cases, you didn't know that they were even capable of this, that they were capable of such wickedness. Now, if this is family, this is even more severe than, say, a romantic partner, because family has been with you since the beginning. In a lot of cases, they were the only people you thought you could actually trust. But as soon as they were given some sort of opportunity, they threw you under the bus. They didn't even second guess it. They didn't even stop to think about it. Just immediate. Like your life didn't matter. What do we have at the heart, please? Wow, unbelievable. Queen of Cups. Fraud and misrepresentation, right? What a card to follow what I just said. It's like these people, these family members, these exes, these friends, whoever this is, misrepresented themselves. Hook, line, and sinker. They took the bait. They didn't even hesitate. And now, however much time has passed, they are having to revisit this entire situation. And the only thing that truly makes sense to them is that everything that is beginning to unfold in their life is somehow directly connected to you. You know, a lot of us have gone through this before. Maybe we go through some karma and something unexpected happens. And, you know, when you're self-aware and you kind of get it, you may find yourself sitting there with that thinking, what could I have done better? Or, you know, or what is it that I may have done that has caused this to unfold in my life now? This is where they're at. But I feel for them, this is probably one of the first times they've actually sat there and asked themselves something like this, because I feel for a lot of them, it's the first time that they've suffered losses of this kind of magnitude in their life now. And, you know, a lot of this hasn't even hit full force yet. They can just feel it coming. You know, all those of you out there in the collective who have been through towers, you know, we've all been through this kind of stuff. You can feel those towers, right? You can sense it coming, and then boom, it hits. It's like there's a pre-echo, and then it shows up. It's like that's what they're going through right now. They feel this, well, it's an impending doom, right? And see, there's interest, right? So this is what's tacked on top of their karmic consequences, because there's so much that goes into having to reorganize things around all your lives based on their treatment of you and other people, that they have to pay all that back now. It's like Spirit saying, okay, well, you put them through this situation, okay? You gained all of this. So now as we're taking that away from you, you're going to have to pay back that interest as well, okay? Because we had to put in, let's say, a lot of manpower in the physical world and in spirit to rearrange things to pay back these guys, you, what they had lost. And this interest, these karmic consequences, this karma, this can extend beyond a person's lifetime. And when you think about how, you know, we hear about past lives all the time and things we may have done in our past lives that weren't very good, it makes sense, right? The karma spills over into the next lifetime. So maybe in the next lifetime, they're having to pay back that interest for maybe the first 20 years. Then all of a sudden it starts to let up. But this is what is taking place right now. I just heard you've become the main character in their story. Yeah. And then we have the Two of Swords, breaking the circle. Okay. Libra energy, Annuel. All right. So I feel like you're coming up as this Two of Swords here. Now, you're being called here to really stay strong, okay? You know, a lot of you out there in the collective, you're empaths, right? You care for people, even people that really do you harm, right? Even though you know they can't be in your life. A lot of you still want them to be okay. A lot of you forgive them in some capacity because you understand that they're limited in their thinking. You understand that they're unevolved, right? So this is truly the key when you figure this out, that there's no point holding on to resentment with your enemy. Sure, you can keep them out of your life. You know, that's always advisable here. But holding on to the bitterness and the resentment is only doing yourself a great disservice. You know, I always mention this, right? Just release it the best you can and move forward, and don't carry that baggage. And the Two of Swords here, this is really speaking about that, okay? Because there's a lot of growth that comes from this when you're able to make a head over heart decision, okay, which is what the Two of Swords really is. It's when you're not allowing your emotions to cloud your decision making, not after all of this, okay? Now you need to make decisions from this space of responsibility from this position that Spirit is putting you in. You have a lot you need to protect now, and you can't have a toe in the past with these people and also be reaching into your destiny, okay? There needs to be a cutoff there. It's very important to keep pushing forward. Just because you're rising up doesn't mean you should go back and try and pull other people in from the past who really did you dirty. And these people might even try to create a pathway, right, to access you, to play on your emotions, to pull on your heartstrings as a means to get you to do just that. But do not do that. You are not going to gain anything. You will only lose. You will lose everything you have spent so long building and working on. And it's simply not worth the sacrifice. You have too much to look forward to. What do we have at the throat, please, Spirit? Perfect. Two of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, Poyel. Fortune and fame fulfills any request. Okay, so this is you now having an understanding with Spirit about everything we're saying here, right? Eyes on the path ahead. Do not look back. Period. You have too many things that need your energy and focus right now. Spirit is adapting you to this new position. preparing you for your metaphorical throne, so to speak, okay? Which is just really a way of speaking about you being seated in this higher position, however that shows up in your life. But this is all something that's happening because you can be trusted. You have proved yourself time and time again. This is what it takes. This is not something that you can do overnight. It takes years for some of you. Again, it just really depends on, what's in your mission statement and the karma that you entered this lifetime with, right? There's really no way of measuring any of this. Each one of you is going to be different, and each one of you has your own way of communicating with source and spirit. So only you will know those finer details. But whatever the case, it's very important that you understand the responsibility that is being placed in your hands. You're moving into a space where you have a lot to lose now, okay? And it comes in the form of spiritual growth. Entertaining old energies from the past can quickly unravel everything in a moment that you have spent so long building. What do we have at the third eye, please, Spirit? Tower, Mars, Aries, Scorpio energy at the third eye. Perfect. The fire of God, disruption, warns of disasters, aids in transformation. So it goes back to what I said about that sort of impending doom before the tower comes through, right? Warns of disasters, aids in transformation. So this is highlighting what I said, right? On one hand, they feel this impending doom coming towards them, which is that warns of disasters. And then the aids in transformation, that spirit working with you to put you on this new timeline because you are the rightful heir to the throne, metaphorically speaking. See, the tower is the most destructive energy in the tarot. It's a breaking down of any sort of false securities in their life. It can also represent that fall from grace, like I mentioned earlier on. And for you, it's the revelation. It's the sudden change. It's the tipping of the scales. It's the turning of the wheel. It's you in this Six of Wands energy, taking this victory, becoming this leader, becoming this boss, becoming everything that they never thought you would ever be able to become. Your dreams, that deep knowing, become your reality, and their worst nightmares become theirs. It's a complete flipping of the script. What do we have at the crown to close out the reading? Wow, unbelievable. The moon. Whew, I just got chills. So what I said about your dreams and that inner knowing now becoming your reality and their worst nightmare becoming theirs is the moon, okay? The moon is all about your dreams. It's all about the truth being revealed. There's a flipping of the script here. It's undeniable. Again, it's like the dream realm and the everyday waking life have switched for each one of you. God is my strength. Divine revelation reveals messages, has the power to destroy. So depending on where you are on this timeline, some of you are just now starting out on this path. Some of you are well into this journey. But no matter where you are, this is the message that I have been guided to deliver to all of you today, to encourage you to keep pushing forward. If you've been on the path for a while, there's so much more. And if you're just starting out, your wildest dreams are going to start becoming your reality. Everything that they told you was never possible will be given to you to show them that they're wrong. So whoever you are out there, and however this resonates for you, I congratulate you and I honor you for all the work you are putting into yourself as a means to help the entire collective at large. Because you, each one of you, is an incremental piece in how this entire thing goes down, and you are all needed. You are all necessary. You are all a part of the greater design. All right, this is what I have for all of you. I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Information for personal readings can be found down below. I would like to thank everybody who has been visiting my online store. There's going to be a whole bunch of new things that are going to be added in the next week or so. So keep a lookout for that. And lastly, if this reading resonated with you, drop me a comment and or a heart down below, and and I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.